So Veeam solutions are central to data protection. How has GDPR specifically influenced the design or features of Veeam's products to meet data sovereignty requirements for EU customers? Please provide a brief, non-confidential example of a compliance feature.
So first of all, thank you very much for this question. So yes, indeed, GDPR, it's a very important regulation at the EU level, specifically for how it influences the Veeam product and how we actually sell in the EU markets. First of all, it's about data location control. So whenever you have like a backup, because we are a data resilience company, whenever you have, for example, a client that wants a specific backup, and they can request a specific backup in a geographic region to make sure that that data and that backup stays in that EU region. This example, it's like we have a client from Germany, for example, and he or she wants a backup of their, let's say, computer data, and acts on the GDPR saying, hey, I would like to have all the data restored and backed only in Germany so that I am sure Veeam does not trade my data or puts my data, I don't know, in another unsafe country. So with this example, we are obliged by GDPR to actually have the backup data in a specific geographic location. It's a pretty common example that I also heard my colleagues. So it's very important to actually have everything in place. Another aspect that we need to comply through the GDPR, it's the one where we process candidate data. So whenever we have candidates applying to our jobs online, they are ticking the box where they need to actually say, hey, I allow Veeam to process all my personal data and all my data from CVs or the application. And therefore, me as a recruiter, I do not I'm not going to share any personal data with any other recruiters because I am obliged through GDPR to process the application only in our own systems and only in the way that I was trained to. So therefore, GDPR protects the personal data of the candidate, and I'm obliged to do so. That's why I cannot, for example, just go and have any candidate signed through the internal program just by my hand. So I cannot do that manually. I need to do it automatically through the internal applicant tracking system, and usually it is done by candidates. So I gave just two examples. You can pick whatever example you want from here. I hope it answers the question.
Yes, thank you.
So the next one would be that giving Veeam's presence across Europe, Romania, and other hubs, how does the multicultural composition of your teams influence the day-to-day organizational culture or the way that the global projects are executed?
Thank you for this question as well. It's a really important question because we value a lot our culture and our values. We are a global company. We are in a lot of countries, and we have a lot of nationalities, a lot of foreigners also working in Romania. So it's really important to actually include everybody and accommodate everybody's needs. So definitely, we have created what we call employee resource groups, such as Women in Green, Pride, or Veeam in Black Excellence, for example. So these groups ensure that we actually hear each employee and they bring their authentic selves to work. So it's important. They do a lot of projects together. They try globally to celebrate inclusiveness, to celebrate women in tech, for example. So this inclusivity actually strengthens the trust and collaboration across the regions. So we do this through these employee resource groups, or shortly they are called ERGs. That's where they come from. And also, whenever we have a global project, first of all, we try to accommodate time zones. For example, I have colleagues in US, and they are very respectful with the time zones. They do not they do not ask EMEA colleagues to actually, be online at 9 p.m. In the evening. They try to accommodate time zones. And also when I am working with my colleagues from Asia Pacific and Japan, I can meet them in my early morning so that it's for them late evening. And in this way, I'm trying, to collaborate globally so that everyone can actually work in the specific working schedules that we have. Plus, we have global projects that are directed by global leaders. So those global leaders, even though they are not in EMEA, for example, they can actually try and learn more about EMEA's culture because they have a global project where EMEA is also part of. So they are always choosing some global leadership so that they can significantly improve project outcomes by aligning, expectations across hierarchical and management levels. So it's really interesting to actually work not with regional leaders but with global leaders on some projects. Anything else? Maybe sometimes we have some language support and some translation tools that we use in case there are colleagues who do not speak, for example, English. That's a thing that we use through the Copilot Microsoft 362. And of course, we have what we call standardized documentation to actually get everyone understand our internal regulations. And those standardized documents, they are written both in English and both in, let's say, for example, in Romanian. So we have all the documents in both languages so that in case you don't understand something in English, you have it in Romanian. So we try to accommodate and collaborate in this way.
Thank you so much for the answer.
So my question is regarding the market differences between the Romania and the other EU countries. So the question is, when selling Veeam's product or services, what is one significant difference you notice between the Romanian market and another major EU market like Germany or France, whether it relates to taxation, regulatory requirements, or customer purchasing behavior?
Yeah, this is also an interesting question. I'm not an expert in the fiscality or taxation part, so I need for you to understand that. But if you can remember, I think until 2024, Romania was considered like very attractive for IT vendors because they were having tax incentives for tech employees and micro company tax regimes. However, it actually changed. If I can remember well, either this year they removed those taxes. So now there is a bit of fiscal unpredictability in Romania, which is a bit harder for IT companies to actually, have those cost efficiency and flexible payment models to people who are working in IT. So therefore, the fiscal unpredictability now in Romania shakes a bit, and it comes to an outcome where we have higher operational costs sometimes, but still we try to go forward and just keep up with the legislation. Whereas, of course, as I have been looking on the internet, sometimes in Germany and France, these markets, they have like more stable fiscal environments. But of course, it can also be a downside sometimes because you cannot, I don't know, move things around just to be still in the legal aspect. But they might also have stricter sector compliance requirements. So it really depends how you look at it. Sometimes it's good to have the business in Romania, and in Germany and France. I understood what, of course, what I have been reading online. I understood that sometimes the compliance assurance and the fiscal predictability might be uh, not better, but let's say more efficient for an IT company. So yeah, I can, what else I can say here? Maybe um the f- the fact that we in Romania, I took a little bit of time for this question. I understood that we have more of a price flexibility. Like when we put the price on our subscription models, for example, it's somehow sometimes it's higher, sometimes it's lower. So they have this price flexibility to also um, play some games with the profits. Whereas in Germany and France, they put a lot of emphasis on price stability, so that they know what they pay at a certain time, and there is not such price flexibility along the some months. So here you can play a lot with prices in Romania, whereas there you cannot play that much, because actually they say no, it's a risk when you play with the price very, very much, that your clients might not pay you the real deal, let's say, and then you might lose them. So it really depends on what you want, either profit or keeping your clients over time. So this is another aspect.
Okay, thank you so much for your answer.
I have one more question, and is regarding the single market opportunities. And what is the biggest advantage Veeam gains from operating within the EU single market?
So actually, what I have been hearing from my colleagues as well is that for the fact that we operate in EU single markets, we have access to a lot of consumers and businesses. Like I've seen some numbers around more than 450 plus million consumers and businesses. And in this way, the EU single market also has a harmonized regulatory framework. So it's pretty easy because you know somehow the rules from each and every country, and it's very easy to just obey them, first of all, and then somehow you know that okay, selling in Germany and France might be so much alike selling in Romania, so it's easier to adapt sales strategy. It's also easily to actually market the products, because in this way you are staying, in the legal framework, and for sure you are not disobeying GDPR or any other regulations, and you can sell your products, let's say, peacefully, because they are so much alike. And on the security and privacy features, from example, because we are a data protection company, so we need to pay attention at the security levels and the privacy levels for all EU customers. It's very easy to do so. As we said for the first question in the GDPR, it's very easy to actually avoid, fragmented local adaptation. So I do not need to adapt again to security policy in Germany or in France or in Italy or in Spain, because they have all the same regulation in the single market in EU. So it's very easy, rather than, I don't know, just going to Japan. That's a very different story in terms of security and privacy features. So we need to adapt everything about the products and everything about the sales strategy there. So it's very, very easy. So in terms of market skills and standardization, we win a lot as a company. Definitely, that's a very big plus, selling in the single EU market.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I also have one last question. Looking ahead, what EU legislative initiatives such as the Digital Operational Resilience Act or the AI Act do you anticipate will have the most significant impact on Veeam's strategy in the near future?
Yeah, so this was also a very interesting question, because I needed to document myself a bit on those two acts, so that I understand how we need to comply with them, or how do we take them into consideration. So for the first one, the DORA one, actually Veeam must enable automated non-disruptive testing of backup and recovery plans to prove resilience under the real world condition. And then for example, we have a product which is called Veeam Recovery Orchestrator. That's about recovering all your data after a disastrous event. They need to be compliant and have all the documentation. For example, for an audit, if there is an audit, you need to align to DORA's demands, so that everything is on place for the audit, because the audit will come and see how we recover the data and how we take care of that. Plus, For the Veeam products, when we sell them, we also look at third parties. So Veeam orchestration and immutability features actually help financial entities meet DORA's vendor accountability requirements. So we are also helping those with DORA. But as a conclusion on this, I think DORA is actually the most significant near-term driver for the Veeam strategy, because we need to have enhancements in compliance automation, in resilience testing, also reporting for regulated sectors. So this is the main one that we are actually driving our businesses. Not through, but we have it as a guide. And then the other one, the AI Act, yes, indeed, it's important because now we are testing and we are trying to introduce AI agents into Veeam's product. So it's really important in terms of innovation and governance, how we do it. And we should do it, of course, in a transparent way with the customer so that they know they have the AI agents there. We need to take care again of the data sensitivity, security, and privacy when they interact with the AI agents. But it's not that important as DORA. So we already respect DORA and we try to actually help financial entities meet DORAs as well. While with the AI Act, it's still not implemented that much because we don't have so many AI agents in the products. But of course, it will be important for the future to actually have it in mind. So that's my point on this question.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope I was pretty explanatory. If not, I can give you other answers if needed in written, maybe.
No, I think all the answers were pretty good. We understand a lot of things now. And thank you so much for your time and for
You're
your
welcome.
answers as well.
You're welcome. We can switch back to Romanian now.
Yes. Mulțumim.
Cu mare
Mulțumim
drag,
mult.
mam.